Hey guys, it's Debbie Poole here from DLP Designs at paintandwood.com. Thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial. You are going to love this one. It's super quick, super easy, 4 colors, red, white, and blue, and black, which everybody pretty much already has in their craft arsenal anyways. So this is a super easy one, great for any patriotic holiday, Memorial Day, Labor Day, and of course the 4th of July. So let's get started. Okay guys, so let's get started. I'm going to get started by using the white. I am going to do mine red, white, and blue. This top part of the hat's going to be red and white. This is going to be blue, and this is going to be solid red. So I'm going to start off painting this entirely of white. Even though I'm going to do red and white stripes, I'm going to start off with white. It'll be easier that way, and then just paint the red stripes instead of doing them each individually. So red, this one's going to be white, so I'm going to get this one done first too. Okay, I'm using a wide brush. Whenever you're doing a big background color, use the widest brush you have. This is just a wide flat brush. It's about 1 inch wide. And I'm just going to go here and cover this really good. White usually, just be prepared, white usually takes a couple coats. And if you're using one of my cutouts, you'll notice the black edging that's on there. You do not have to paint that. You don't have to paint that because these are laser cut, and when they're laser cut, it's actually burning the wood, and when it's burning wood, it's actually sealing the wood. So that makes it really nice. You can, it's totally optional if you want to paint that, you can. But I'm going to warn you that be prepared, it's going to take 2 or 3 coats to cover that black edging. If you've never painted before, and I know I'm going to pretty fast through here, but I know it's going to take 2 coats for the white. I don't care what kind of paint you're using, what brand or what medium. I'm using a exterior paint that I have mixed at Lowe's by the gallons. I don't expect you to do that whatsoever. I'm pretty comfortable with it, but if you're more nervous around your edging, use an angled brush. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's just got a slight angle to it. Those are fantastic for outlining. You're better off going with a little bit bigger angled brush than you are going with a teeny tiny brush of any sort when you're outlining. But I'm just going to go through here because I'm not too concerned, because if I get out a little bit here, I've still got these other colors that I need to fill in, and I can layer that over my boo-boos. I've done it before. We all do. It's okay. And I usually tell everybody try to have their brush strokes going in one direction, but with designs like this, some shapes, especially with the letters going every which way, it's hard. So as long as you get your paint as even as possible, I think it looks better to do 2 thin coats than 1 thick coat. It will look a lot better for you. Now you'll see I always go back through after I've already covered it and smooth it out some. Just make sure it's nice and even. Now I know it's going to need a second coat. I'm going to flip it around, and it can be drying while I'm going to go ahead and fill this part in with white. Again, the angled brushes are fantastic for outlining. The majority of the time I use an angled brush. I haven't made a complete game plan for this design yet. I know the red, white, and blue. I don't know if I'm going to do any design work in those solid colors yet. I kind of want to get my hat done first and see where I'm at, because I don't want it to be too busy. That's what I'm worried about. You see, I went through it and painted it all. Now I'm just going through here and smoothing it out. Okay, there we go. Now I know that's still wet, so I'm going to go on. I'm going to do my blue down here. Let me move this out of the way. The blue. This is where you got a couple of choices. Okay, this is just like straight up royal blue that I've got right here. I can either use that, or I can darken it a tad bit by just adding a touch of black. I don't buy 70 different colors and tones of colors. I buy all the basics and I mix, okay? it's more economical and it's just easier. I don't have time to keep up with that many colors anyways. Okay, so, but I think I'm gonna go, I can't decide if I want to darken it, make it navy, or do I want to just go with the royal. I think I'm just gonna, I'm trying to adjust my light here, y'all, so you can see a little bit better, hopefully. I don't know if you can see, but it's just a royal, I think I'm gonna go with it. I kind of like it, and I'm gonna go with it. But if you wanted to if you have a royal blue and you wanted to darken it just a little bit, just add a little black. And who knows, I may go back and do it, I don't know. Okay, and I forgot to tell you, if you're going here painting and you're not going to cover your edges, especially if you're doing it with a laser cut like mine, if you're not very comfortable and sure of yourself of just following along here, when you get close to the edges, hold your brush straight up, okay? What's that? Is that a 90 or 45 degree? Whatever it is. I never was good at math. Hold it straight up and pull it out like this. That'll help keep your edges nice and neat. If you have a little paint that drips down on the edge, don't worry about it. Just get something like a paper towel or something real quick and wipe it up. No biggie. Now this blue is definitely going to need a second coat. I can tell right now by looking at it. It's okay. Most of your colors will. That's just nature of the course. Now this paint I'm using, even though it has a primer in it, I just always highly suggest in the workshops that I teach to go ahead and give it a second coat. It's just better protection for your wood. And it's just better for the paint. Like I said, some letters and designs, it's hard to get your brush strokes going all in the same direction. See, I can't outline and talk at the same time. I'm usually a pretty good multitasker. But when it comes to paint, when you're outlining, don't be afraid to load your brush up a little bit. That's a big mistake I see people make too. And also, a big mistake that they always make is getting the smallest brush that they have in their craft arsenal. Don't do that. Because when you're using a teeny tiny brush, the majority of the time, your hand will grip it a little bit tighter. And if you grip it a little bit tighter, you're going to kind of start to shake a little bit as you're going. And this light, the time of day I'm doing this is not the best. So I may have to hop off here and adjust my light in just a little bit. I want y'all to see as best as possible. Okay, that's covered. I know it's going to need a second coat, but I'm going to go up here and this little band in my hat, I know I want it blue. So I'm going to go ahead and coat it. And this part down here, I'm going to just do it in solid red. Everybody always asks me, what do I clean my brushes with? When I'm just sitting here painting, I just have a jar of water and like Dawn detergent. That's good enough till I wash them out. But I do like to soak my brushes in Murphy's oil soap and warm water. It cleans your brushes so nicely and it makes them so soft, just like a makeup brush. And they will last forever for you. If you take care of your brushes, they will last forever. I still have brushes that I started off using at my very first workshops like 4 years ago. So take care of them and they will last you forever. And you don't need the most expensive brushes. No, 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 no. Alright, I'm just going to keep spinning this puppy around. I'm going to do my red. Get some red here. And again, it's just, here's personal preference. I'm just going with a bright apple red. That's what I'm calling it. Now here I'm getting in some little nooks and crannies, so I probably am going to go over here and grab me one of those angle brushes to get in there. Those are great for getting in little nooks and crannies. And I don't even need to do that really. I just thought of it because that's all going to be red. So, when lines, I'm not going to do that until I get that second coat of that white on and it dries really good. when I'm saying when you're outlining, you're better off to load your brush a little bit so you won't have to constantly reload or redip your brush. And also when you get to the edges, if you start off here and you kind of have your brush strokes going out towards your edges, that'll help keep your edges nice and clean too. And if the paint does drip a little bit on the edges out here, before you catch it and get a chance to wipe it off, don't fret over it. Just go back. You can completely touch it up with a little black. You're better off doing that than going and trying to paint them suckers. That's the nice thing about the laser cutouts that I have. You don't have to do that. And this red seems to be covering pretty, oh, sorry guys, pretty good. Actually really good. The white covered pretty good too. A little bit, the white actually covered better than the blue. That shocked me. Wonder if the tint's off just a little bit. See, I have my paint chips or my paint samples, and I get the same colors every single time, and I've had these for the same ones for 4 years. Once I figured out the basic colors, the exact ones I wanted, I keep them, and I just go back and have them remix. But it seems like the blue might be, that hue might be off just a little bit. That's alright. Alright, let me flip it here, and I'm going to very carefully do all this inner right here red. Obviously I can't outline and talk at the same time. Okay, now I've got it all coated once. I'm going to jump off here and get the hair dryer and get it quick dry. And then we'll come back and second coat it. Okay, here's a tip on hair drying. I see a lot of people make the mistake. Yes, you can use a hair dryer to speed up the process. I do it all the time. We do it. I use them in all my workshops. But when you're doing it, don't hold it close to the surface and in one spot. It will start to bubble up. I don't care what kind of paint you use, it will start to bubble up on you. Constantly fan it, going like this and moving it, not real close, and you'll be totally fine. It's a great resource and a cheater to get it going a little bit quicker. So use that. Okay. So now we have to do our stripes. Okay, we have a few options for the hat. We can either do like a wavy motion, which would probably scare most of you half to death. It's more of a freehand technique. Straight lines, you can either get a ruler and draw your lines out and fill them in. If you got masking tape on hand, use the masking tape. It's a great little cheater. Use it. That's what I'm doing here today. Okay, and I'm going to start off with my middle and work my way out. That way I'm not ending kind of funky. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take a little piece in between. That's going to be my spacer. That way they're all evenly spaced. Okay? And then you're going to go out here. And if you notice, since this hat's kind of whimsical, it's a little bit wider up here, I'm kind of fanning them out just a little bit. Okay, I'm not going just straight up and down. I'm kind of fanning them out just a little bit. And this is where we might get a little wonky here. I'm a little concerned about this part. Let's see what happens. Somebody's outside revving their motors up. Okay. That works out good. Perfect. I'm going to get rid of my spacers. Now make sure your white is very, 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 I cannot stress enough, good and dry before you do this. okay, and go down and make sure your edges. Painter's tape works even better. I'm out of it. Masking tape works just fine. Okay, now my red lines. I'm going to take just a medium-sized flat brush and go in here. Here's a trick to doing it when you're kind of doing this technique. And you can even take some tape and outline that if you want. I'll show you how to do that. But since it's curved, it's a little bit more difficult. You can even tear them down into smaller, like that. Just to help you out. You don't have to do this step, just, it's an extra little cheater. Let me go shut my door because my husband's son's in there watching the game. Right, here we go. I'm gonna take some red. With your tape, I'm gonna load my brush up. Don't ever take your brush towards the tape. Always start on the tape and come in like this to keep from bleeding underneath. Sometimes it can still bleed underneath, okay? Just go, start on the tape and go away from it into where you want your paint to be. And here I'm going to do probably a couple of light coats instead of one thick. I don't want to go thick here because I don't want to risk my paint bleeding underneath the tape. If it does just a little bit, I can handle that because we can add some highlights and stuff to kind of deflect our eyes from our imperfections, if you will. Not that I've ever done that. I do it all the time. I'm not perfect at all. Everybody says, oh my gosh, I want to paint like you. Listen, I mess up as much as anybody, and somebody is really revving up their vehicle outside. I'm not sure what that is. Sounds like a NASCAR race out there. Okay? Now I am going to take, and y'all can stay with me for this, a really light dry to that with a hair dryer. And I'm going to stay up here because I want to be careful with that tape. Okay, since I did a real light coat, I'm going to take just a second to dry. And I think I smell hair burning. I think my hair gets stuck in my hair dryer, y'all. Oh my gosh. I do. I smell hair burning. Oh well. It happens. The life of a painter. And I don't go so fast, but I am starting on the tape and coming out because I don't want to risk bleeding. And it happens. It happens. I mean, it's real life, y'all. These things aren't being mass produced by a machine. These are being hand painted. That's what makes them so stinking special. And even better. Okay, I'm gonna take a sneak peek. And yeah, it did bleed just a little bit because I used the masking tape, not the painter's tape. But I'm okay with that. Let me give it a quick dry. Okay, it bled just a teeny tiny bit, but not bad at all. The blue painter's tape is a lot better. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot better. But I used what I have on hand. Okay, and that little bit right there, it pulled up just a little bit where it wasn't totally dry with the tape. See, I have imperfections. See, like that right there, and see it bled over a little bit. I'm not worried about because we're gonna add highlights. But in here, I'm gonna do some little polka dots. And I'm cheating, I'm using the little polka dot spongers. Okay, this is the medium size. This is the 3/4 inch. If you've never used these before, heavens, y'all, these are great cheaters. You need to have them. You can get a package of like 9 at Walmart for like $3. Get them. Get them, get them, get them. You will use them over and over and over. But when you use these, not every 7-year-old can use these. There's a trick. Dip it in your paint. Now you can see all that paint, the excess paint, these are sponges. Okay, dab off your excess. Dab it off. When you get ready to use it, now you see that? I'm going to cover that with a dot, that little imperfection. Push it down about halfway. Give it a little twist and then pull it up. That's going to give you the perfect circle, and you're not going to have all those missed little sponge marks as if you did this. Like, let me show you. See? I just pushed it down, pulled it up. See the difference in those two dots? No. You want to push it down by halfway, give it a little bit of twist and a shimmy. You can dance with it if you want. No judgments here. I may or may not have before, but you know. Polka dots, normally I would start in a corner. I wanted to cover that imperfection, that's why I started there. But you're always trying to make little triangles. Okay, start in one corner. You don't want to start in this corner, then jump up here, back and forth, every which way. Start in one corner. I'm always making triangles. There's my 2 dots. I'm going to put one here to make a triangle. I'm going to use those 2, make a triangle. Down here, another one. Up here, and I want one kind of coming off like that. Okay? I'm almost thinking one needs here, but I think it'd be too much, so I'm not going to do it. So I'm done with that. Alright, now I'm going to take, this is a little number 8 round brush. It's just a round tipped brush. Okay? It's a number 8. That's all I ever use for my highlights. That's the only one I ever use. I do like to dip them in a little water. And the only reason is I'll dip in water and then just do them like that so I can get a nice little point on them. That's the only reason. You don't have to do this with all your brushes before you paint. You don't have to do it. Now I'm gonna need some black. I put black on, I'm going to say 98% of my hangings because it kind of makes all your other colors pop. I know it sounds crazy and such a dark color, but it really, really does. It makes it pop. And I know where my rim my hat is over here. But I'm going to kind of just sketch it out just in case. I'm going to take my little number 8 brush. When I'm doing highlights, I'm not scared. I load it up pretty good. Can you see that? I load it up pretty good. You don't want to do it like that and not have hardly anything on it. You want it loaded up pretty good because you don't have to go back and redo a swipe. Okay? Now when I'm doing it, just the tip of my brush, like this is my surface, just the tip of my brush is skimming it, okay? I'm not pushing down hard like that. You'll never see it all the way bent. It's just the tip of my brush touching it. And I don't have any wipes. That's alright. It's alright. So now, and when I'm doing my highlights and stuff like this, I usually always rest my pinky on my surface. Either my pinky, let me bring y'all down here so you can see it a little bit better. Hopefully you can see this just a little bit better. You see my pinky or somewhere here. I've always got something resting on my surface just to help support my hand. Okay. And everybody goes, how do you know? And here in my circles, I always just like to do like moon shapes. That's pretty much what it is. It's just moon shapes. Every which way around the circle. Okay? Half crescents, moon shapes, whatever. It almost makes them start to look like bubbles. And I gotta get that paint off me. Somehow. Now on these stripes, yes, I'm gonna add some highlights in here. I'm gonna add, you can kind of go with stripes with it. You can go with like little stitching marks, and I'm gonna show you what that looks like in just a minute. But I am going to load my brush up and very lightly do little squiggles. You can barely even see it. Let me get this done and I'll give you a close-up. And here, the very tip of my brush is just barely skimming the surface on this one. Now, if you are comfortable with the little paint pens, by all means use it. I just assume use a paintbrush. It's just easier and faster for me. But if you're comfortable with the paint pens, use it. Okay. See, just little wavies. Yeah, go over here. These are, the outside highlights are just a little bit thicker just to give it that shape some definition. Right there. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go over here. I still can't decide if I'm gonna do decoration in these just because I'm afraid it'll take away from the hat. We're gonna do some borders first and then kind of play it by ear from there and see what we want to do. Okay, let me go do this white one first. This one I'm going to do like a dot, dot, dot. And then a line. Easy. Dot, dot, dot. Don't overthink it. See, those are a little bit too small. I want to make those a little bit thicker. I'm not going to do that right there because that's going to be part of the A. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to do white here and here. I may go back with black, but I'm going to start off with white. And on this one, I'm going to do some stitching marks. Stitching marks is just like little, it's a little bit more time consuming border, but it's just that it looks like little stitching marks. If you don't want to do any borders, it's totally fine. It's still super cute, but I just want to show you ways of taking it a step further, okay? This is the added touches that really takes your painting to the next level, really. And again, I'm just using that same little number 8 round brush for all this. And all these techniques, try them and kind of get used to them, like on a poster board, construction paper, even a paper plate or something, before you go to it on your hanging. Now for me, the kind of paint I'm using, like right now, if I totally had a boo-boo messed up here, because my paint's still wet, my stitching marks are still wet, I could take like a little hand wipe and it'll wipe right off. Kind of depends on what kind of paint you're using though. Those are stitching marks. Super cute, right? Love it. Now I am going to add a few little white up here in the hat. Just like that. Alright, now the U. What do I do for the U? I'm kind of almost thinking I need to go with the stitching marks up here too. And I think I will. And again, they're just a little bit more time consuming, but really easy little technique to add. Just see how much it brightened it just adding it. Super easy. They're not all the same. They're not uniform. And this would be a very, very easy technique to do with a paint pen. I like them when they don't have all perfect uniform. I love the imperfections. I think that it gives it a touch of whimsy, and that's what makes it handmade and unique. Kind of turn this thing every which way but loose here. Okay, I am going to go ahead and finish this out and add some down here. I think it needs it. But that runs into that comes out, so I don't think I'm going to do it there, if that makes sense to you. Add one right there. Oh, super adorable. I'm loving it. Super cute, super cute, super cute. All right. Okay guys, this is how you attach the wire hanger. All right, now I kind of see it's kind of folded in half. We've already got 2 holes pre-drilled here. So just stick one in each of the holes till you get about 2 to 3 inches. That's up here on this area. Now just push it straight down and bend these straight up. This is where you're going to need some needle nose pliers. You're going to take one and you want it flush. You don't want any wire hanging out on this side. Alright, oh, let me take you down just a little bit. No wire, the wire's flush with it. Hold it, grip it tight with this, don't let go, and bend out and just keep twirling it all the way down. Just like that, and that's going to give you that cute little curly cue. Same thing over here, wire flush with it, nothing hanging out. But here, instead of going that way, I like to take it the opposite way. There you go. Now for the bow. Alright y'all, this is a super simple, easy bow. Okay, these are all 2.5 inch wide ribbons cut at 10 inches a piece, 10 inches long, 3 pieces. Put one down, kind of at an angle. The one that you want on top, make an X with it on the top. This one's going to go straight across, but I like to lift this up. Actually, all you're doing is just fanning it out like a flower. Okay, so like if you have it stacked here, fan it out like a flower. See, just like that. Take just a piece of twine, string, whatever, other ribbon, whatever you want. Put on top. You're going to flip it over. And here, you're just going to kind of hold it down, brace it down with your hands. And you're just going to tie. While you're holding it down, start to tighten this, and as you tighten it, it's just going to automatically gather for you. Tighten it really tight, give it a couple of ties so it's secure and it's not going to loosen or move on you. And here, since you use that wide ribbon, you can manhandle it and maneuver it and play with it and get it to exactly to where you want. Just like that. Easy, super easy bow that I use. It's the easiest thing, especially for the workshops, to teach everybody so they can make their own, and I'm not sitting there making bows all night. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to take one of the strings through this hole on this side, put one through it, pull it pretty tight. So you got one through it and one actually over it, okay? And just tie it together in the back, really tight. Super simple and easy. And it's really cute. And I like using 3 different ribbons because, again, I just think it's a whimsical, fun look. And here's where you have another option. You can leave them cut straight like that if you want. Or if you want to fold them together like that and dovetail, it just adds a cute little edging at the bottom. You're just cutting a little slant. You're folding together, cutting a slant. Again, this is an option you don't have to do, but it's just a little added touch. Last one here. we go. That's it, y'all. You did it. You painted another super cute door hanging for your door. I cannot wait to see your pictures. It's okay to brag on it. Post them in the group. We want to see it. If you have questions, problems, issues, ask your questions there, and I'll be in there to help you. Can't wait to see it. Thanks, guys.